singing with Vancouver Chamber Choir for something like 12 or 13 years, I think. So, and I sing alto in the choir. I love the challenge of reading, being an alto singer, and I love the ease of the range. The range is really in this speaking range. I find it challenging, to be honest. It's I've sung as a soprano all my life, but chorally I sing here in this group as an alto, and I don't know how conductors feel about that, but I was able to make my living as a soprano, and usually do as a soloist, as a soprano. But singing alto is very comforting and challenging. I enjoy it. I love working with the inner harmonies and continuing to grow. I have to say I'm really, really grateful to be able to continue singing during the pandemic. I think after 6 months being stuck at home, lost its appeal, if you will. I loved not being so busy, and I loved being able to connect with being at home. I loved cleaning up my garden, and I loved putting junk in truckload after truckload after truckload. I feel like things have really been piling up before the pandemic, and to be able to just clear that all out and take a breath, I think is really a gift. I'm really I'm grateful in so many ways that the pandemic has allowed us to do that, but I'm also grateful that I can still sing. So I've had the best of both worlds, I think, for most of the musical community here in Vancouver. I think artistically, I was very surprised at how hard it was to do this. At first, I was like, oh yeah, we can just redo that piece. Yeah, right. It's like, yay! It's not going to be perfect. We can do it again. And hearing the recordings, it's just like, let's do it again. And it's exhausting. It's really, really, really exhausting. And it's not anything that we're used to at all. Well, I mean, we're used to recording, but not visually recording. So it has just been really, really a challenge in that respect. But I think what was most astonishing for me was that we've had a lot of other singers come in and work with us during this time. Either people were not available, or we've had new singers audition and become members of the choir. Or people, got sick and they couldn't be part of the concert, and I think what I found really inspiring and really wonderful was that during the process of rehearsal, we were still able to come together and transcend and make music together and make music well. The most human thing a person can do is sing. Yeah. And when we sing together, it just changes the whole dynamic. I mean, we're not just individuals, we come together. And it struck me that during the pandemic, not being able to connect with each other has really, really, I don't want to say hurt, but there's just so much stress happening right now because people cannot be together. And I was thinking that when individuals are together, when a human connects with another human, and particularly when you're singing, when you're making music, when you're breathing together, when you're creating phrases together, and your mind is together, then I think that is the definition of humanity. Yes. I mean, we're humans, but what is humanity? That we come together, and we are an entity unto itself together, which is so exciting. I think that's I felt like, oh. I have actually thought about this kind of thing a lot. I have every year have students going on to university, and they're at home right now, and not flying to places that they need to be to study.
Yeah.
But you know, it really is an opportunity to hone your skill,
Mm-hmm.
to practice. I mean, there's always, to me, there is always an opening night
Mm-hmm.
that is looming, and everybody's just scrambling to get to that point, to be ready,
Mm-hmm.
that your lines are memorized, that your choreography is memorized, that every aspect of the show must be put together, and that opening night is crucial.
Yeah.
You have to get to that point. Do or die, you do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And right now we can sit back and we can hone our skill. We can practice our technique, and we can make our artistry that much better by grounding ourselves in all of the work that our teachers are always telling us to do, that we never seem to have enough time to really delve into.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a wonderful opportunity to get those kinds of things done. I feel like it's all just part of life. I don't think, I mean, I see all of these things that I've learned, and how that is so greatly going to benefit how I deal with things post-pandemic.
Right.
It will be better.
Mm-hmm.
So many difficulties that I thought were a challenge before, like adding extra rehearsals, and then we have to get the venue, we have to find the money for the venue, we have to get the people available for that extra evening for a rehearsal, and now I can connect with them easily online and say, do you know your notes? Let's find out. You know, and it can work.
Yeah.
It can work. I do have one very specific moment that I feel is one of the most musically profound moments of my life. And we were at the Orpheum, and it was when Eric Whittaker came, and he was conducting us, and everybody was just Eric Whittaker, just like having so much fun with him, and they loved his music. They kept talking about, you know, how great his music was and how much fun it was to sing his music and how much they loved him as a person, as a composer, as a conductor. But when all was said and done, we were singing A Boy and a Girl. And there are these phrases of just only silence. I don't know if I'm in the right key, and I'm singing the alto part, so nobody will recognize what I just did. But there was silence, and then this prolonged rest. And I don't know, I've heard tones and I've heard music that have made me sort of feel wonderful, but I've never had that goose pimply feeling that some people say they get when they hear something. I'd never had that in my life until that moment. And strangely enough, it was in silence. An entire theater absolutely spellbound by a moment of silence. It was life-changing for me. It really, really was. It made me really appreciate moment by moment by moment every sound you make, beginning and end and in between. It just changed how I thought about music. Like, it wasn't just get through the hard passages and sing as high as you can and sing as low as you can and sing as loud as you can and make it as quiet as you can. It was so much more than that. That every moment has a great deal of specific and profound meaning. That is what I remember. Well, actually, what I do look forward to the most is, well, two things. Seeing people in the audience. I just, it's like when we sing together, there's that energy, and there's that energy that comes back from those people in the audience. And that musically, but just being able to freely be with people after the pandemic without worrying about anything. I mean, yeah, I'm still gonna really wash my hands a lot, use hand sanitizer, and probably use masks and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think that will ever change now. We're all so focused on keeping our germs to ourselves. But I really want to just connect with my friends and not have to think about, can I hug you? I want to hug you. It's so hard. It's such a big part of how we express our feelings about each other is through touch. Yeah. And everything that we express that is in so many ways that is negative about what we think of each other is without touch. It's like keep your distance. It's like, here he comes, run, But it's it's not. It's so we've learned to be able to express that, I guess, with words and with eyes and with well wishes. But to be able to just outright hug somebody or be sit next to them, is so important. It is. It really is. Well, that is what I'm looking forward to.